Well, we're almost at the end of the season, and some teams are going to miss the playoffs. So the question that I was getting asked today, and I thought, well, let's just go ahead and discuss this, is of the teams that are about to miss the playoffs, and it's likely either Anaheim or St. Louis, and I realize Minnesota's not out of the woods. Colorado's not necessarily out of the woods. At the time I'm recording this, St. Louis is up on Columbus, who are not on this board because they likely don't miss the playoffs. Which coach do I think is likely on the hot seat, or which one should be, in my eyes? I'm gonna go ahead and take Arizona off the board because I don't think Rick Tocchet's on the hot seat. John Chayka doesn't seem like the kind of guy to give a job to a coach for 1 year and then pitch him. For that same reason, Travis Green for Vancouver, I don't believe is on the hot seat, and I don't think he should be. Following that same logic, Phil Housley in Buffalo, likely not on the hot seat. Likely not on the hot seat. Finishing at the bottom of the league, you might go ahead and waive that 1 year rule, but there seems to be more patience from GMs with coaches now. Mike Yeo for St. Louis, I think he's safe, whether they make it or they don't. I can't see Anaheim firing their coach either. Once the team got healthy, they got a lot better, so I can't see them necessarily deciding that the coach is the problem and pitching the coach. So Carlisle should be safe. So what we're left with here is a number of potentials. How about the Islanders? I don't think Doug Weight is seen as being an issue for them. Florida, Bob Bugner, I don't think is going anywhere. So now we're down to a grand total of, it's still a lot. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9. There's 9 teams I look at and I say, all right, which team might very well pitch the coach and which team should. Having taken 7 off the board that I don't think are in play and I don't think should be. Realizing that Buffalo could very well be. Guy Boucher in Ottawa. I don't think he loses his job. Do I think he should be concerned? Yes. Anytime that a team goes from one win away from something important and then falls out of the playoffs by a large margin, I think he could be in trouble. In Edmonton, I don't get the feeling Todd McClellan's in trouble, but he probably should be. I think Peter Chiarelli might be under more scrutiny right now than the coach. And yet the coach... And that's the thing. You have to ask yourself, all right, so your team underperforms. In the case of the Oilers, somewhat in the case of the Flames as well, underperforms. And I say somewhat with Calgary, not meaning they're not underperforming, but meaning that it's been over the last 10 games, this has just completely fallen apart for Calgary. Edmonton has been more of a, right from the start of the year. So do you look at the team and go, well, that team can't win, so it's not the coach's fault? Or do you look at the team and go, well, that team should have won, it is the coach's fault? Or is it both? Do you look and go, well, that team probably could have played better, but the players weren't that great, so, get rid of both. In Dallas, I think Ken Hitchcock could very well be on the way out. It's the easy move to make. Reminds me of Pat Quinn down the stretch. Pat Quinn, whether he's in Toronto, Edmonton, when he get hired, you got the feeling like at his age, with his amount of experience, yes, he could turn a team around. He was also really easy to get rid of. With Chicago, Quenneville, surprisingly, apparently, may very well be in trouble. His job may very well be on the line, and the fact that they've missed the playoffs could cost him a job, which is weird since it'll be the first time they've missed the playoffs in a very long time. So then the question becomes of the guys on the board here, who's most likely to go? I don't get the feeling Claude Julien's in trouble. I don't. Should he be? Absolutely. This is the second team in a row that's had tremendous shots on net and no goals out of it. As soon as he left Boston, suddenly the Bruins could score. Now Montreal looks a lot like Boston did a year and a half ago. They can't score, they can't win close games, but they're getting a ton of shots. The sad thing about this is Canada, 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 Canada. 4 Canadian teams with coaches, I say, may very well be in trouble. So I'll go ahead and put them in line with each other. I'll put Chicago up here, move the Rangers over, move Carolina over, and Detroit. Now, if I had to organize these guys by who's most likely to go, I'd go with Guy Boucher first. I'd go with Gulutzan second. I'd go in that order. So in terms of Canadian coaches, which ones are most likely to go, I'd go with those 4. American coaches, who's most likely to go? I'll go with Blashill first. I'll go with Peters second. Vigneault third. Quenneville fourth, because there are a lot of rumors out there he's on his way out. And Hitchcock fifth. So those are, to me, the most likely, split by country. That's 9 guys. This is why during the live stream somebody commented I have 5 guys that I think are going to go. That's probably pretty conservative. I think Detroit makes the change. I think Carolina makes the change. Ottawa may very well. Calgary, because somebody's got to take the fall in Calgary for what's gone on this year. And I'll go ahead and say the Rangers. So I said during the live stream I figured 5 as well. Those would be my 5. So of the 5, who do I think shouldn't lose their job? I don't blame Vigneault for what's gone on with the Rangers. And I don't. Because I think Vigneault's a very good coach, but I get it. You know, they're underperforming. I don't know that I blame Gulutzan for what's gone on with the Flames. Remember, Gulutzan famously early in the season threw his stick up into the crowd, or up, well, there was nobody there. It was during practice. Threw his stick up into the seats, and they went on a huge winning streak after that. You can only go to the well so many times with losing it on your team and trying to use that to motivate them. Personally, and this is just my personal one-man opinion kind of thing. If it were up to me, I think Blashill would go. I would move on from Peters as well, with Carolina trying to revamp things on the run here. I wouldn't fire Vigneault personally if I was a GM. I know it would probably cost me my job eventually, but I wouldn't fire Vigneault. I would not fire Quenneville. Quenneville will be unemployed for maybe 5 minutes. Quenneville will get calls immediately from Detroit and Carolina. If he quits or he's fired, whatever happens, immediately Detroit is on the phone. Detroit wants to have a quick turnaround. They're on the phone immediately. Hitchcock gets fired. I don't know that anybody gives him a call at this stage. Peters gets fired. Same thing. I don't know that there'd be a lot of demand. Boucher gets fired. There would be interest in him. Maybe even from Calgary. Maybe from Montreal. Because Guy Boucher, that's French. And maybe Montreal at that point would say, hey, we can fire Julien and bring in Guy Boucher, who coaches offense. And maybe that can change results in Montreal. Of the 9 that I've got on the board, Todd McClellan might be the safest. And I don't know that I agree with it, but I think he's probably the safest. He did coach the Oilers last year to an excellent record. They did make the second round of the playoffs. And I haven't seen a lot of the blame for what's gone on this year being set on him. At the start of the year, before the season had started, during the preseason, there was a lot of talk about how the Oilers were a slow team and kind of easy to play against, and it was kind of surprising to a lot of people. That tells me Chiarelli might be on his way out. This is just for coaches. I will do this again for general managers. But for coaches, these are likely, I would think if 5 guys get fired the day after the season ends, these are the 5. I'm not going to get into playoff teams because really if a team craps out in the first round of the playoffs, you're more likely to get rid of your coach if they underachieve during the regular season as well. But we don't know what's going to happen in the playoffs. This is just based on regular season. And to me, I think those are the 5. And these 4 are the maybes. And Quenneville, I'm baffled and bewildered by that one. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Which coaches do you think get fired? I'm talking about an NFL style day after the season ends. These guys are done. Their careers are over in these cities. until they're rehired by the team 5-10 years down the road. Look, it happened with Julian. It's happened with Hitchcock. It can happen. You can end up going back to the well again. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Which coaches do you think are still in the hot seat? Which ones do you think are more likely to go at the end of the year? Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. So there's the 9. And there's the 5 with the asterisks that I think are most likely. But I'd be interested to know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.